Well, if you thought all hope was lost for the Dallas Cowboys, you wouldn't be alone. 3-5-1 after last night's debacle against the Arizona Cardinals. But Scotty Swingler and I come out firing today. The Mosley Show. Well, as we're coming on today and as we were preparing to come out, Cowboys make a major trade. They made a smaller trade earlier today for a linebacker. There it is. We go to the newsroom to break this news. The Cowboys, and I mean and we're going to need to look, Scotty. One thing we need to look at is see what his current deal is, what deal they inherit from the Jets, because that'll tell us. Because I mean, how long they'll have him moving forward. But this is and Schefter's got the we got it right up there on the screen, and you see that the Jets receive a 2026 second round pick and a 2027 first round pick, and Mozzie Smith, the Cowboys former first round pick that they're finally washing their hands of. He's been inactive in a few games this year, and it just has not worked out with the Cowboys. So we'll see if he has any future. But whoa, you wondered, if Jerry would dip into those 4 first round picks. Of course, they got 2 for Micah, and there goes one of them. There goes one of them for Quinnen Williams. And the Jets have just been, you talk about acquiring some picks. They had already traded Sauce Gardner earlier today to the Indianapolis Colts for 2 first-round picks, which is a big enough deal. But then to turn around, and this is, I'd call it a fire sale, but my gosh, they're getting huge assets in this deal. So if the Jets ever have anybody that they hire that has any clue what they're doing in terms of personnel and in terms of drafting, they could do some really big things here. I mean, the thing, Scotty, we've always said about the Jets is, obviously Aaron Rodgers got hurt last year. They haven't been able to put it together. They haven't had the right quarterback. At times, they've had really good defensive players. And they've had decent defenses. It's just they can't put the whole thing together. And now they're moving along 2 of their biggest pieces. And this is a bigger, let's call this what it is. This is, and boy, welcome to our whole Twitter audience. And one of the reasons we were a little delayed today is Scotty and I were getting all our ducks in a row and getting, we think that we now will every day be able to reach out to you, and a lot of people that follow me will be able to follow our show on Twitter, and we'll tell you more about that moving forward. But this is big news. I mean, last night, I was with Jerry late. We're always on the scene when it comes to Rogue Media Network and what we do on a daily basis. I was there with Jerry late last night. He looked like he'd seen a ghost. He was not wanting to say whether or not he had a deal done. He had hinted that he had a deal done, but it hadn't been consummated yet. And as we get, we're 1 o'clock here. We're right up against the deadline, the trade deadline. Cowboys make a big one. This is not, Logan Wilson is a decent linebacker to help their linebacking core. Quinnen Williams is, I knew Jerry did not want to give up premium picks for a pass rusher, because it would have been some sort of admission that, hey, we miss Micah. We don't have any kind of pass rush, which they have a hint of a pass rush. They did sack Jacoby Brissett a few times last night, but they didn't do much else against him, and he sliced and diced them up and down the field. This is, again, is Quinnen Williams going to come in here and save the season? No, he is not. Now, Scotty's kind of looking to see. Scotty, let's talk a little bit about like the Quinnen Williams contract, because a lot of these people that the Jets are trading, like Sauce Gardner, for instance, have done big deals. Garrett Wilson, their receiver, they're kind of wondering if they would move him. What is the Quinnen Williams current deal, and how much longer is on it? This, again, a 27-year-old defensive tackle. He immediately becomes the Cowboys' best defensive tackle, and you put him with Kenny Clark, you put him with Ozigidua, and you have the makings of a pretty talented defensive line. What kind of contract status are we talking about, Scotty?
Yeah, he is halfway through a 4-year, $96 million contract extension. He signed in 2023, so he's got 2 years left on that 4-year deal. And it should be noted, because I was trying to get a little more information about what the Cowboys are getting here. He, according to Pro Football Focus, is the highest graded run stopping interior lineman in the NFL. He does have, let me pull this back up. He does have 40 sacks in his career. This is his 7th year in the league. So can get to the passer, but certainly more of a run stuffer. Averages about, we're looking at about 50 to 60 tackles a season. So that's what the Cowboys are getting here for. And kind of a steep price in my mind, but you gave away a first and a second for this guy. So, but you're right. If he's healthy, Kenny Clark's healthy, that's really stout up front.
Yeah. And I can't help but think of Jerry. This is kind of a lifeline. And this is, we screwed it up. We keep firing these defensive coordinators. We're horrible on the back end. This is to fortify one part of the team, which they kind of liked. Honestly, the way Ezraku's playing, Fowler had a sack last night. In fact, Jadeveon Clowney had a sack last night. They like some of their defensive line. They've been horrible at linebacker. They just got guys out chasing cars. They've been horrible on the back end. They're bad at safety. So, again, I mean, let's call this what it is. It doesn't save the season. It's for Jerry, it is, hey, we stink. I haven't given up on this team. And then this will also help with our future. That's good, Scotty. That's good information. I just wanted to make sure where we had him in his contract. And so if I'm hearing you correctly, Scotty, does this go through 2027? Is that right? You said it halfway through. Okay, through 2027. And again, lot of the guaranteed portion, huge signing bonus that he received has already been doled out to him. So if I'm doing the math correct, Scotty, this thing comes in probably at about, what'd you say the full deal was when he did it? 90, did you say 90, how much million?
96 million.
Okay. All right. So anyway, a lot of this, again, the Jets have already covered quite a bit of this contract, but now you still have big money coming back because you're now, I mean, let's think about it. You've got 2 cornerbacks who make really big money per year. You got a quarterback who makes huge money. You have one wide receiver in CD who makes about 35 or 36 million a year. And now you have a defensive lineman who probably, if I'm doing the math in my head, for these next couple of seasons for 2026-27 would make somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 million a year, 28 to 30 million a year, somewhere around there. So you're, and we'll get all the details, all the final details. Now, Scotty had a good, I mean, from a run stopping standpoint, and boy, this team gives up yardage in the pass. They get gashed in the run. You know, last night I found myself, I'm like, who's that for the Cardinals? DeMarcado? And I'm like, that name sounds familiar because he played for TCU. I think he was on that TCU team that played for the national championship. He was on that team for TCU. Not great. I mean, they may have taken him in the 4th or 5th round that year. Again, the Cardinals came in a 2-5 team, and if you looked at their defense last night, and you looked at, they're some of those guys are like, one of those guys has got to be like 36 to 38 years old. Calais Campbell. I mean, he's old. Walter Nolan's young. He was a draft pick out of Ole Miss, used to be with A&M. Sweat was real good with the Eagles. Josh Sweat, he came over. He was number 10 for the Cardinals last night. And I found myself thinking, Budda Baker's a good player at safety. I'm like, I would in a heartbeat trade the Cowboys defense for the Arizona's defense. And that's not a good team. Arizona's not a good team. They came into that game 2-5, and they just wiped the place up with the Cowboys. I mean, both sides of the ball. Cowboys only sort of were hanging around. They got a punt block for a touchdown. They had a special teams moment, and then they do what they always do. They're down 24-7, and they made a little bit of a comeback. They're like, oh, here come the Cowboys. Oh, my gosh. And then they fumbled and gave the ball back. But, again, that's what we were going to be talking about. Jerry does know how to change the conversation, and now he gets Quinnen Williams, the Jets, and Scotty, I'm seeing some I'm seeing the Twitter fear, out there with like Garrett Wilson standing there like Will Smith in The Prince of Bel-Air, in that famous scene where he's just standing there by himself in that room and no furniture. And I think Wilson may have been left behind. I mean, they are claiming draft picks all over the place. Cowboys, again, give up a second-round pick 2026 and a first-round pick 2027. All right? So, again, when the clock turns 2026, they'll have their first-round pick, and they'll still have the one they got for Micah. One of those ones, one of the first. So they had 4 first-round picks. There's Scott. There he is. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of Garrett Wilson by the end of the day. I like that. Garrett's just standing in there like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So, Scotty, it's been a busy day. You saw, I jumped on FS1 with Colin Cowherd. It was more about Jerry and, why does he not respect head coaches, blah, blah, blah. And suddenly the Cowboys make a big deal. My interview with Colin was cut short because the Jets did the deal with Sauce Gardner to the Colts. I mean, that's a huge swing. That Colts are 7-2. They got Daniel Jones as their quarterback. They just came off a loss, but they're still in great shape in the AFC, and they came out swinging. That's a big swing. The Cowboys are never, they're usually never sellers. They did it with Micah because Jerry let that deal get personal, and now Micah is with the Packers. Now, hey, here they are today, 3-5-1, a team going nowhere, and they took a big swing. This message is similar. Now, again, I don't think he's going to have the impact that Amari Cooper had when they made that trade back in, Scotty, 2018. I think they made that trade with Amari Cooper, and they had to give up a first-round pick to do it. And they did save that season. And they turned the season around. This team does not feel good enough. There's no semblance of anything on defense. The offense last night against the Cardinals that were 2-5 just kind of short-circuited, didn't put up points. The head coach won't kick field goals. He's the Dave Aranda of the NFL. He's just out there like, hey, I'm not okay. 4th and goal from the 4-yard line. We're going. He gets sacked. Didn't even have to play. And then later they were down there on 4th down, tries to throw across the field to CeeDee Lamb. That was a mess. Of course, Dak had people in his face all night, and people are always quick to take up for Dak and all that. That's fine. I did want to say to you, Scotty, looked at some numbers of how Dak performs against some of the better teams. Scotty, he can also lose to bad teams. All right. I did want to go ahead and bring that up because they did it against the Cardinals. They had been great at home against some of these bad teams. He put up huge numbers, and against a decent team with the Packers, he put up huge numbers, and they had to tie. They tied that game, but against the Cardinals, they could not get it done. Now we got some college basketball coming up. Scotty took a trip out to see the Bears we got a lot going on. We started a little bit late today. So tell you what we're going to do, because we got to reset. We got huge Cowboys breaking news. I'm going to gather some more information. I'm going to talk to some more people. We're going to keep going down this path. So we'll do some college, and we'll do a little college basketball. That was fun. I want to hear Scotty's take on that. We'll do that as we get into the 2:00 hour. But for now, we're going to keep jamming on Cowboys trade. They trade Mozzie Smith, which is, by the way, I should not ever lead with that. Mozzie's just kind of like I don't know if you can call him a sweetener. I mean, in fact, he's more of a bitter guy. You got a first-round pick and a second-round pick have been traded for Quinnen Williams of the Jets. We'll take care of our partners real quick, and they'll come back, and we'll keep reacting to a huge trade for the 3-5-1 Dallas Cowboys. That's next.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform.
At your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we didn't know exactly what that partnership would look like.
What brings you into the bank today?
For the last couple of months, I've been noticing a charge on my account, and I would like to block it.
I see. So you have a charge,
Yes?
and you'd like to block it?
Yes.
I think you should take the charge.
What?
Yeah, I definitely think you should take the charge.
I don't think you understand.
Sometimes you just have to take one for the team.
Is there a manager available?
We love that Coach Colin is all about the team. Once we get the vocabulary down, the sky's the limit.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
I have Mac Rhodes, director of Baylor Athletics, on the phone. Mac, can you tell Peggy why she should take the charge?
Of course she should take the charge. Wait, are you at the bank again? And who is Peggy?
Baylor Nation rolls along with Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Start with award-winning service and factory-trained techs. Then shop our new and used lineup. From cars, trucks, to SUVs, all makes and models. Running a business? We're your Central Texas headquarters for ProMaster vans, cabin chassis, and work trucks. For power and comfort, test drive the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner again. Allen Samuels in Waco, proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Come by, let's be friends.
All right, and thank you, Central National Bank, incredible bank in Central Texas, Temple and Austin locations as well. And welcome in, man. Scotty was just looking. We got a lot of people coming in Twitter. We're reacting to this trade. I've seen a lot of them over the years. This is a I say desperate. This guy's a great player, and he's going to help them moving forward. And that's why I wanted to immediately kind of look at that contract, see what he's been up to. 3-time Pro Bowl player. And, he goes from the Jets to another bad team. So it's not like he's actually escaping. But you know what? And both those teams get a lot of attention for different reasons. Jets do not get quite as much attention, I think, nationally as the Cowboys. But we have gone live on Twitter. And I love my Twitter audience, and boy, they've come rolling in. And Scotty Swingler, who some of you might be meeting for the first time, he is my producer and co-host. He'll be jumping on here quite a bit. But we want to encourage you to go sign up for our YouTube. Sign up for YouTube, subscribe, and we want you on there. And that's the way you can actually interact with us. We love having you come in via Twitter, but we also want you to check out the YouTube page, comment. we'll put all your things that you got to things that you want to say or sound off. We can put it right up there on the screen. Have all kinds of colorful graphics. We do a lot, and we do this every day from 1 to 3. And because I am a proud Baylor graduate who does a lot of Baylor things, I do a lot of Baylor, but I also do a ton of Cowboys because that's a big part of my past. Rangers, Mavs. Oh, man, the Mavs. Ooh, they actually hung with the Rockets last night, and then it went away. It's hard to watch. It's a hard team to watch right now until Kyrie gets back. And sadly, I'm afraid their season will already be totally in the tank by then. But maybe just watch to see how Cooper Flagg gets his season going. So we talk about a lot of different things. Right now, we're talking about this new look Dallas Cowboys with Quinnen Williams coming in from the Jets. And, you know, he's number 95. I mean, that's Kenny Clark's number, so I don't know how that'll work out. I think of though, I'm just trying to think how, I mean, I'm looking right now at like what their defensive line is going to look like. And coming back from the bye, again, bad team. What I don't want to do is lie to you. This is not going to be, oh my gosh, overnight, this is the greatest team. This was not one player away. But with some of the people returning after the bye, the team gets a little more interesting. Let's walk you through this defense a little bit. Jadeveon Clowney at defensive end, Ezra Raku, who's coming on as the rookie at the other defensive end. Quinnen Williams, hey, it's not like, hey, Quinnen, sit over there for a little while. Quinnen, get your rear end and get after the quarterback and cause chaos and make teams respect us and maybe not gash us over and over. And oh, by the way, do we have a linebacker who might come up and fill a gap? All right, so Quinnen Williams, and then the other defensive tackle will either be Osa or Kenny Clark. It would have been interesting to see if you could have gotten more. Anyway, I'm trying to think what Osa could have brought back for you. But right now they have Kenny Clark and Osa. So suddenly they're fairly crowded at defensive line, and Mosley's gone. I mean, he was not part of like any kind of talent. That was a bust of a pick, and now they move on from him. Linebacker, DeMarvion Overshown could be returning soon. Linebacker, Logan Wilson, who they just traded for from Cincinnati. Yeah, he'd been benched. Is he better than Sanborn, Shamar James, Kenneth Murray? Yes, he is. All right, not saying much, but yes, he is. Duran Bland at corner. Ooh. Scotty Marvin Marvin Harrison Jr. put one juke on him down by the goal line, and that man went to the ground. That man, it almost like he was doing like some gymnastics or something. I mean, it was like a toddler. He just fell over, and Marvin had the easy touchdown last night. And the mic from the ref, at one point when Jacoby Brissett had a touchdown on a sneak, you heard one of the players for the Cardinals say, "This is so effing easy." Of course, he didn't say effing. And wow, that's about how things were going for the Cowboys. Now, who would they have in the back end? Well, you hope you get Malik Hooker back. Donovan Wilson comes back. Your two starting safeties. Hooker's a big part of it. He's your better communicator. Maybe they could actually get somebody lined up in coverage. Maybe they'll decide if they want to do more man-to-man, or if they want a zone. Maybe there'll be better communication. All right. Cornerback would be Reddy Stewart or Kalen Carson, and then Duran Bland. All right. Can we just move on from the Diggs era? Can we not act like, oh, Trayvon Diggs should come back? Guys at home having accidents and ends up with some sort of concussion protocol just at the house. All right, that's not good. Hey, thank you, Cherry Johnson, Siegmund James, one of the great law firms in all of Central Texas. So welcome in, big time Twitter crew who came flowing in here. Again, let me remind you, go sign up for the YouTube page. Be a part of this thing on a daily basis. We have a lot of fun. We react to big things that are happening, and today is one of those things. Cowboys get 3-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Quinnen Williams. Okay, you'll remember him from the Jets. What did they give up? 2026. There's the Schefter tweet, and all the others. I've seen Rappaport out there, and Diana Rossini from The Athletic. Jets get 2026 second-round pick, the better of the Cowboys' 2 first-rounders. Now, that's key. That's key. That's interesting. The better of the Cowboys' 2 first-rounders in 2027. All right, so you just have to see, because you'll recall that they got that from the Packers, and who finishes ahead in 2027. We're a ways off on that one. Cowboys will still have 3 first-round picks, so they give up a second and a first, and they go get Quinnen Williams. Okay, why did Jerry do this? Well, he wants to send like a life raft, lifeline, whatever, to this team. This is, fellas, I let you down. We're horrible on defense. I don't know. It might be my fault. It might be Eberflus's fault. It may be the Flus. I don't know whose fault it is. I'm certainly not going to fire myself. So here's something. Here's something to kind of maybe make this season a little more palatable. Here's something. So you get help now and you get help moving forward. And then, of course, this upcoming draft, you lose a second rounder, but you still have you have your first rounder and you have the Packers first rounder. So you have 2 first round picks and you lose your second round pick for Quinnen Williams. Now, is there anybody you're going to get in the second round better than Quinnen Williams? No. I mean, again, not that they can't turn into Quinnen Williams down the road, but there's nobody of that immediate quality that you're going to be drafting in the second round. That's an important part of this. But again, that 2027 first round pick, is someone going to come along in the first round, 2027, that could fairly quickly be as good as Quinnen Williams? Yeah, probably so. But this is Jerry not waiting on that. This is Jerry saying this year's team is worth fighting for. And then, of course, he gets the benefit of having Quinnen Williams through the 2027 season. And, the hope will be he's so good that by next season, Jerry's talking about extending him. That's the way things are. Now you take on a fairly big salary. As Scotty was saying, $96 million was on his deal. Now, a lot of that's some of the bonus and all the signing bonus that he got of the $96 million deal. Scotty, take a peek, if you would, for what the signing bonus was. Okay, that's the old train riding money. That's what we call CIF. That's cash in fist. A lot of times in the NFL, because these are not guaranteed deals, these things look massive, and yet teams can at some point move on from them pretty quickly. But a lot of this deal, Quinnen's already gone out, and he got a bunch of money on it. All right, Scotty is Johnny on the spot here. As of late 2025, okay, $66 million in total guarantees from the extension he signed 2 years ago. All right, he's gotten a lot of his guaranteed stuff, and so I think that's probably what made this thing. He's owed the remainder of his salary for the 2025 season. Okay, so that's not that big of a deal in his salary. Okay, I was shooting a little high earlier, Scotty, because I was thinking about the 96. But again, so much of the guaranteed money has already been paid to him through the initial signing bonus. So his salary is going to be around $20 million for next season. Now, that's a lot of people who are getting big. I mean, because the 2 cornerbacks are well up there in that range. Quinnen's got $20 million. Osa is up there. Osa just did a big deal. I don't know if Osa's at 20, but Osa's probably around 15. I mean, they got a lot of big money contracts, but again, a lot of these teams that Cowboys always say, well, we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that, because of the Micah saving the huge. Micah, you'll recall, is making $47 million a year. You do have some savings there where you can go out and bring on some of these other players. But don't make no mistake, they gave up a lot. They gave up a lot for Quinnen Williams. I mean, we're generally more comfortable with people giving up this much for major pass rushers, all right, or even cornerbacks like although the 2 first-round picks the Colts gave up for Sauce. I'm like, whoa. I mean, it's good to see a team go all the way, go in like that, but that is really, really something. And man, this is interesting to watch. Now, great to have some of you. Some of you were watching earlier my appearance over on FS1 with Colin Cowherd. That was fun. And then I think Scotty and Pete were getting to see some of that. And then a lot of you have come over here to what we're doing with our YouTube 1 to 3 every day. We are Rogue Media Network. We do this every day at 1 o'clock. We've welcomed after Scotty and I spent some time on it, and I finally kind of figured it out. We'll be every day. We'll be bringing a big Twitter. The only thing I'm a little bit frustrated with, Scotty, I did not, like I thought, like I wanted to earn back in the day the blue check mark. All right. And again, I never made a big to-do with that. Who cares? Whatever. Never did. But when it disappeared, I wanted to I wanted to let it disappear. I didn't want it back, because when Elon took everybody's blue check mark, I was fine remaining in the non-blue check mark world. That was great. What Scotty has taught me is that by going back on this Twitter premium deal, I think the check mark's coming back. And again, Scotty, other than helping us communicate a little better with our show, which I think is very worthwhile, does it allow me to have more characters? Is that one of the things that I get now with my premium membership? Is it'll allow me to like have longer? I don't really want.
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe so. I know I got it on Twitter Premium maybe half a year ago, and yeah, more characters. You can do longer tweets, so that's pretty cool.
You know what I'm kind of glad of, Scotty, is that, I mean, like, we would have risen to the moment. I'm kind of glad. I'm glad Baylor didn't have to fire a coach and then that we had to dive. I mean, we'll have plenty of that. And if the season goes where it might go, that could happen. But I'm just thinking about how different this week could feel in the aftermath of what UCF could have been. And those suckers went out. I mean, at least with the Cowboys, they are who we think they are, right? They're horrible on defense. They go out, they surrender. But I got to say, what I was just telling you about going through that defense with Quinnen and with Overshone returning, like to start the day, I was saying I would switch with the Cardinals defense in a heartbeat, because that Walter Nolan and, I mean, they, Sweat and Buda Baker back there, like after watching them last night, I'm like, I would have switched with them in a heartbeat, right? I'm just like, give me those dudes. I mean, compared to this horrible Cowboys group that can never get, like, think about what Jerry was saying to me last night. When, Scotty, I asked him about, like, Jerry, are you surprised? Oh, we have this, don't we? At some point.
I've got that clip. You want it?
Yes, let's play. I love that we can do this. Scotty is very, very good at finding different things. This was during and the only thing I hate about the video when I'm back there with Jerry is when and this is probably why I wear sunglasses a lot, I make the craziest faces. And I don't mean to. I don't ever know I'm doing it. And I'm always like looking around. I mean, you literally would see something and go, Mosley's got something going on, like something. he's got some weird stuff happening. But anyway, yes, let's Scotty, this is the reason I bring this up is because it just shows you how like out of touch and that Jerry Jones was like really, really wanting Kyler Murray not to show up, and he didn't play, and they got ripped and sliced and diced anyway. Yeah, Scotty, we may come back to this later, but let's show our audience my interaction with Jerry Jones when I asked him if he was surprised about Jacoby Brissett slicing and dicing this defense.
That's why I can say there's no trade.
Hey, how surprised are you that a backup quarterback is able to come out and do this to you? You already had Russell had a huge game against y'all, then he got benched right after that.
Fair.
I mean, how surprising is that?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I like the way we got after this quarterback in certain aspects of this game tonight. But I don't mind telling you, I was glad not to see Murray out there. So that's my answer to your question. How surprised are you? I thought we would play better tonight against him and against their defense. I really thought I'd play better, and we'd play better. And I'm anxious to see. I thought they did some serious work on the interior, on the front, on both fronts of theirs. I thought they had some good physical snaps, they being Cardinals.
How disappointed were you?
No, and I mean, my own podcast partner, Werder's trying to step on me there. Did you hear him, Scotty? Ed's trying to get in there and get a question. I got no clue why Evan Grant, the longtime Dallas Morning News Rangers beat writer, he appears out of nowhere. He's up there. He was the bald guy right in front of me. It's like, my gosh, Evan, can you just stick with baseball? But there he was. I've watched him for years interview Rangers managers. And there, Evan jumped right in there on some Cowboys there, and Scotty, thank you. During that little bit of time, I actually just looked fairly normal. I mean, by my standards, like literally, if you see some of the other, I happened to be doing the podcast last night, and I looked up at ESPN, and they were showing Jerry, and I mean, my face was just like so I was in great pain because. And I think my dad passes down to me, and my sister does it too. We squint a lot. And we're always kind of like trying to look real, and like when we concentrate, we squint. And Scotty, you do a tad bit of that. Sometimes when you smile, you do a little bit of a squint. But mine is just very strange. But Cowboys, did we ever, Scotty, get to play? I feel like we've kind of welcomed in a large new audience today. Did we ever get to play the breaking news sounder? I mean, I just feel like with this huge breaking news today. Okay, good. That's serious. I think when people hear that, Scotty, they think, is Dan Rather back? Is Dan Rather back at the desk? Oh, was that Mosley? Who is that? Is that is Brokaw? Has Brokaw returned? It's very, very, it's a major thing there. And by the way, great to have everybody. I got people texting me. Hey, I'm catching you on Twitter. I mean, Scotty, we've done a pretty good job of getting the word out, but Twitter is very helpful and great to hear from our folks in the Twitter fear or whatever we call that. All right. And earlier today, by the way, Scotty, I thought, did you hear? I was giving the Ags. Colin Cowherd is fascinated with University of Texas. People that are national, and I think it has something to do with Sark, they don't think A&M or any of these other universities exist.
Cowherd has had a love affair with Sark the entire time he's had that show. And I did hear you, and I promised to my coworker Pete Souza here that I was going to give you crap for this. So.
For what?
Hello, new Twitter audience. Matt Mosley has a love affair with Texas A&M. And if you're a Baylor fan who knows him from his Baylor days, you need to just accept this. We need to consider an intervention, I think, at some point. Maybe some therapy. He loves these Aggies. Loves them. And Cowherd asked him a question today about Sarkisian and Arch Manning, and you give Matt Mosley a minute and a half, and he was talking about how good Mike Elko and Texas A&M are.
I don't know why. I mean, I think that's unfair. I do, since I have a daughter that's a freshman there. Someday, Scotty, if you aren't able to guide your young daughter to Baylor and she ends up at another school, I'm not saying you'll fall in love with that school. It has to at least become part of your life, because you have to go there to see your daughter. You spend more time there. And so if I'm going to go to the games, it's kind of cool that they're having one of the greatest years they've had in the last 30 years. So I'm no Aggie. I don't do the cheers. I don't wear maroon. But I do think that guy can coach, that Mike Elko. And I'm like, all these other teams like SMU and everybody's doing these huge extensions. I don't really understand why Indiana did an enormous extension with their coach. They're paying him $11 million a year right now. I mean, Ryan Day got an enormous extension at Ohio State. Like, why am I not reading about that with the Aggies? Maybe because they've done such horrible extensions. Maybe because the one that, what's funny is Woodward, the guy who got fired at LSU, he didn't do the extension. That was the guy who's, I think, at Ohio State now, Ross Bjork. But somehow Bjork has skated on that deal. Poor Woodward now he did the initial really bad long-term deal with Jimbo Fisher at A&M, but he did not do that horrible extension, which had like a $77 million buyout attached to it. But yet Woodward's just get canned. Oh, y'all won a national championship in women's basketball. You won a national championship in baseball. We don't care. Those sports do not matter here. I mean, I don't know. They fill that basketball arena for women's basketball. They're not any good at men's basketball. They hadn't been good at men's basketball since Shaq was there, since Del Brown was the coach. They just sent that guy packing. I mean, wow. Scotty, it just hit me. Am I correct to say that we'll see Mack Rhodes on national TV this very evening? I mean, the Baylor athletic director, who, because of the situation that Baylor's going through, has not been doing many interviews. We will hear from Mack Rhodes, the spokesperson for the CFP. He's the head guy. He's the head guy for the CFP, and we'll get to see him on screen. Got a big time haircut. People will say, "Hey, Mack, kind of let his hair grow out." Not anymore.
Unfortunately, those of us who have YouTube TV won't see it. And we couldn't watch Monday Night Football last night because they're still fighting with ESPN.
I know. It is funny that ESPN, think about it, all the cord cutters and, oh my gosh, how will ESPN ever survive all this cord cutting? And now they're in a dispute with the place that offers the cord cutters their lifeline. Now, Scotty, this obviously... You do have buddies in town. You do have various watering holes you could go to. I understand you have some family obligations that don't always allow you to do that, but there are ways to get around these things. And one of the things you did was, last night you went to see the Bears in person, and we will be talking a little bit about Baylor basketball. I know you got a report card. We'll do some Campus Confidential. I do want to hit some college stuff, and if we want to fit some Baylor into that in the 2:00 hour, the basketball team. I've got people texting me, Scotty, already, like, oh no, it's going to be a long season. Come on. I mean, did they have a run in the first half where somebody from the Rio Grande Valley was Rio Grande? Is it Rio Grande or Rio Grande? UTRGV came into town and they were ready to play. We had Ashley Hodge on yesterday. He told us about a guy's name on that team his last name is Wright, Right, and his first name, this is what I don't know if his parents named him this, but this is like on their webpage, his first, he goes by Always. So his name is Always Wright. It's a great name. I saw him out there. He's not great. He's not great. He was not one of their like leading scorers, but they did, Scotty, score 81 points on the Bears. Do we play defense there? Are the Bears playing any defense? Come on now. We brought in the great Ron Sanchez, the longtime assistant of Tony Bennett at Virginia, to add a defense. We'll wait on that till we get to the 2:00 hour. But just a reminder, Scotty, once you played the breaking news of the day, and you can feel free to put that Schefter's deal back up there. But the Cowboys have traded a second-round pick in 2026 and a 2027 first-round pick. That's one of the four. They're going to have 4 first-round picks. 2 of them they got for Micah. One of them's gone. One of them's already gone for Quinnen Williams. Gosh, he'll be 28 or 29 by then. Is this really what you needed to do when you're 3-5-1 and you're basically headed toward a sort of a tanking type season, competitive tanking, where you can just go out there and lose games because of your bad defense and your offense is kind of really up and down? You got these 2 great receivers, but you got, really good quarterback. You can't block for him. I mean, those defensive linemen, the Sweat, number 10. I mean, poor Guyton for the Cowboys over at left tackle. It was just like, if they weren't racing around him, they were bull rushing him, and he was just in backpedal mode, just falling down. That was rough. But the Cowboys do have Quinnen Williams coming in. They got Kenny Clark. They got Osa. And I was going to go through this lot, what the defense looks like now. And they're still not. Again, this is Jerry saying, fans, I hear you. I screwed this up. I'm going to try something here. Now, if it was just for this season and you gave up a first-round, second-round pick, we would all be staging a protest right now. We would be storming the gates of Frisco. We would be out hollering at Jerry out on the front lawn. I mean, there'd be a lot going on right now. But they do get him through 2027. This is more than just about that. This is a good player, Quinnen Williams. Hey, 3-time Pro Bowl player. He's been one of the stalwarts of a decent Jets defense. They've been horrible on offense, despite having Garrett Wilson, who's apparently the only one left over there. I mean, they're just one by one. They're just trading. Now, they got some major assets. First-round pick, second-round pick, 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner. I mean, moving forward, the Jets, we thought the Cowboys were going to have the most firepower. The Jets are just like grabbing all the assets in the world. Now, could they screw it up? I mean, their owner's a bumbling guy. I mean, he's more bumbling than Jerry. I mean, Jerry is at least entertaining. They have a bumbling, non-entertaining owner. Woody's just out there just bumping into stuff. He doesn't really have anything to offer, but Jerry at least kind of will go on a TV show, may even be on Landman. Jerry can do some interesting things. Now, Cowboys defense, you plug Quinnen Williams in. You have Osa and Kenny Clark. Pretty good rotation. Pretty good. That's 3 defensive tackles. You got a little something there. And then at defensive end, Jadeveon Clowney and Donovan Ezaraku. Jerry was not going to go get you a pass rusher. They talked about it. They looked at it. He hated admitting that he needed to fill a hole where Micah was. He likes to think that they're not missing Micah that much. He even took a shot at Micah yesterday. He was doing something with Michael Irvin and maybe Stephen A. And he said, those guys would have never, I think he was talking about Michael. They would have never gotten on a training table in front of all those people. That was a shot at what Micah did in that preseason game. That thing's personal. Jerry likes to act like it's not personal. Jerry decided to I mean, he almost never lets that happen. Like to have some huge falling out with a player, but he did it there. Now, I don't think Jerry has really any problem to do with the agent. It's just specifically with that player. Now, rest of the defense, linebacker, DeMarvion Overshow, former University of Texas great. Get him in. Get him in here. All right, that's going to look good. Logan Wilson, that's the other trade that we would have been talking about, but not that big of a deal. They traded a 7th-round pick for Logan Wilson. Better run defender. He's going to be better. In coverage. I think over the past, 4 or 5 seasons, he's got like 11 interceptions. So the guy makes plays on the ball. 2023, he had at least 4 or 5 interceptions, had a real good year then. That's okay. Cornerback, they're still kind of like, what are we doing? Deron Bland, a lot of money, had his moments, was good, had decent moments last night, got embarrassed down there near the goal line, and Marvin Harrison Jr. dropped him, said, hey, I'm gonna take your ankles from you. Okay, so he fell down. Kyer Elam, the corner from Buffalo, they got former 1st-round pick for Buffalo. Reddy Stewart actually came on a blitz, had a nice sack last night, and Kalen Carson. So I would say the cornerbacks mixed at best. Cornerbacks still rough. Does that mean they should have gone and traded a couple 1st-round picks for Sauce Gardner? No, sir. No, sir. I mean, you've already got huge money going to those positions. I don't think that would have been the move. At safety, you could, after the break, have Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson. Not great, but if you could put Wilson and get him in the box where he belongs and not have him back there in coverage all the time, he's a good player. He really is. He's a good player. If he's near the line of scrimmage, run support, hitting, he could do some good things for you. Malik Hooker can help you, and he will help big time with the communication. So there it is. Cowboys make the big trade for Quinnen Williams. And let's not forget that they threw in former 1st-round pick Mozzie Smith. In this team, sometimes they don't always know how to draft those defensive linemen. They got a big defensive end out of Michigan several years ago. Bust city. Major bust. That was Taco Charlton. All right. It was about 7-8 years ago. Taco Charlton, major bust. Mozzie Smith, going to get a big-time defensive tackle. We love this kid. Bust. Now, offensive line, they tend to hit. Say what you will about Parsons. That was a huge hit. He's arguably the best pass rusher in the game. They got him. They got him. It wasn't even a top 10, was he? I don't think it was a top 10 pick. So again, over the years, they picked great with offensive linemen. They hit on Parsons. This kid, Logan Wilson, that they brought in, he's not a kid anymore. He's 29. Jerry's comparing him to Van Der Esch. Remember him? Leighton Van Der Esch, the wolf call, the guy the wolf killer or whatever they called him. The wolf, he would do his little wolf howl or something. Pretty good player, just got hurt. And, same thing with Sean Lee. Really good player, really fine player, but, got hurt a lot, just couldn't quite overcome the injuries. Had a decent career. Van Der Esch's career was kind of like, there were moments, certainly had his moments, and could have been a Pro Bowl, could have been a perennial Pro Bowl type player, but because of the injuries and the neck and everything, he had to go. Logan Wilson, a little bit like him. Rangy, cover a lot of ground, going to be so much better against the run. Thank you. Get Kenneth Murray, get poor old Shamar James. Let's add some seasoning to that young man and just kind of let that bake a little bit, because that's a rough scene. All right, tell you what we're going to do. Thank you, Schmaltz, by the way, the greatest sandwich shop in all of Central Texas. Thank you to Ascension Providence. We've interviewed, almost every doctor in the system. We got in fact, people saw what we did with Ascension, Scotty. In fact, they love those interviews so much. There's another hospital system that's like, how do we get involved with you guys? And so, Scotty, it's up to us to find out, well, how do we make that happen? How can we make something like that happen? But I'll tell you what we do. when somebody commits to us, and thank you, Kevin Stevenson, and thank you, Ascension Providence, for your commitment. Boy, we take care of you. And boy, do we deliver on what we say we're going to do. And we have loved having all those positions on. They do an incredible job. And Scotty, keep them on speed dial, because when there's a concussion or a knee injury for a Baylor player or a Cowboys player, we'd love to get them on. We'd love to get the Baylor team doctor on, David Haynes, who happens to be a longtime buddy of mine from Baylor, a little bit older, I might add, but a great friend of mine. But they don't let the doctors from Baylor talk to the go on camera very often. Now, the head of medicine for Baylor, the head of all their athletic trainers in medicine, is a guy named Kenny Boyd. He's also a good friend. They might let him come on at some point, but we shall see. All right, Scotty, we've been off and running. We'll have more. Okay, we're going to continue to gather more information on this huge trade that the Cowboys have done, but we'll also check in. Scotty made a field trip out to see the Bears. We'll do a little campus confidential. We'll do it next.
With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Dive into adventure with scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. Samsonite.
So all you have to do is tap your Popple to the back of someone's phone, like that, and they instantly get your social media and contact info right on their screen. They don't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. So get your Popple today and start impressing everyone you meet. Make it pop.
Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Golf Partner, overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform.
At your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
Drive in the fall at Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Waco. Huge savings and the best selection in Central Texas. From powerful Ram trucks, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, to adventure-ready Jeeps and stylish new Dodges, we've got the right ride for you. Upgrading, downsizing, or buying your very first vehicle, Allen Samuels has you covered with friendly service and deals that make driving fun. Don't miss the Drive in the Fall event, only at Allen Samuels.
Come by, let's be friends.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we didn't know exactly what that partnership would look like.
What brings you into the bank today?
For the last couple of months, I've been noticing a charge on my account, and I would like to block it.
I see. So you have a charge?
Yes.
And you'd like to block it?
Yes.
I think you should take the charge.
What?
Yeah, I definitely think you should take the charge.
I don't think you understand.
Sometimes you just have to take one for the team.
Is there a manager available?
We love that Coach Colin is all about the team. Once we get the vocabulary down, the sky's the limit.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor women's basketball.
I have Mac Rhodes, director of Baylor Athletics, on the phone. Mac, can you tell Peggy why she should take the charge?
Of course she should take the charge. Wait, are you at the bank again? And who is Peggy?
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the app today and sign up with promo code Mosley to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code MOSLEY. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play-and-get-terms_DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
Well, we're back. Matt Mosley Show. Scotty Swingler here with you. And Underdog, it's not just something we run a commercial for. It's something that we actively participate in every day. Now, I got to admit that one of my picks yesterday, I knew would make Baylor fans upset because I had Rob Wright with higher than 4.5 assists. And that dude only had 1 assist. What are you doing, Rob Wright? You're a point guard. Get to it. But I've got some picks for tonight. I feel really good about these selections. If you want to win some money on Underdog, maybe you can make these picks along with me. Franz Wagner, higher than 31.5 points, rebounds, assists. I love that they let you combine points, rebounds, and assists. I think that's a really safe way to play it. There's a lot of avenues to get to that number. VJ Edgecombe, man, the Baylor Bear is taking the league by storm. Now the Las Vegas favorite to win Rookie of the Year. I've got him with higher than 25.5 points, plus rebounds, plus assists. That should be a walk in the park for EJ. And then Cameron Boozer making his much anticipated debut tonight in the college basketball game of the week. Duke versus Texas. Give me Boozer to have higher than 2.5 rebounds. Now, I did Underdog's flex option, which means if 2 of these 3 hit, I win money. If all 3 hit, I win more money. It's one of those ways Underdog lets you play, and I think it's a little safer than just trying to go for this clean sweep here, 3 for 3. So if you want to play with us on Underdog, use the promo code Mosley. Oh, I went the wrong way. Let's try this again. Use the promo code Mosley. There it is. Mosley. You'll get $50 of bonus cash when you put in your first $5 just to play more Underdog with us. And as I like to say, Mosley, not just a promo code, but a man.
He is, some would say, the man. And stop trying to steal my bit. My gosh, now when you put your sunglasses on, I suddenly have them off. Well done there. Thank you, Underdog. Appreciate it. And sorry Rob let you down. He let a lot of Baylor fans down. I think he had a pretty good scoring night. I want to hear your soon, Scotty. We'll kind of finish up today with some what we like to call Campus Confidential, and I do want to hear about your field trip out to see the Baylor Bears play last night. College basketball, Arizona from the Big 12. Whoo, this is going to be scary. I mean, they had a freshman, Koa Pete, I believe is his name, Scotty. He just goes out and hangs 30 on. I mean, that was the number 3 team versus the number 12 team. And Scotty was referencing BYU was also playing in a pretty competitive game. It was like a battle of maybe some top 25 type programs. And by the way, did AJ Debansa is supposed to be, one of the top freshmen in the country. Did he score like 21 or something like that? Did I see?
Yeah. So this was one of my Campus Confidential stories was Koa Pete, because he scored 30 against the defending national champion, Florida.
Wow. Wow.
The Bantha had 21 against Villanova. So not a dominant night, but a good night, really good night for the true freshman there. And then just for comparison's sake, Tunde Yesufu is the potential lottery pick. True freshman at Baylor had
24.
Now I'm second guessing if he had 24 or 26. I think he had 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24 for Tunde.
Yeah. I mean, that was good. I have immediate concerns about Baylor, not the least of which is when I was kind of paying attention, there was nobody really bringing anything from a points standpoint off the bench. Maybe they got some rebounds and some defense off the bench, but my goodness, there was not. Everything was having to come from those 5 starters, and especially against an inferior opponent like UTRGV, which didn't look like it for a little while. You want to get some of the guys off the bench, get in there and give you some. So, I mean, that's the only thing about some of these injuries the Bears have had. Some of these guys could have been nice bench players. I'm talking about Michael Perez and we'll see if Bodo, the big man. But I don't want to step on any of that, Scotty, because I kind of want to finish. I want to finish out today with some of that. I've been looking during our breaks at like cut-ups of Quinnen Williams. Scotty, I'm sure you've been doing the same. And I mean, in the run against the run, he's scary because it's just he's not failing to get in the gaps. He's causing all the gaps. Like he's standing his man up and shedding with great ease. I'm even watching some kind of recent games from him, and I mean it's just I just saw like a left tackle from it's the Steelers trying to block him earlier this season, and it's just the initial contact he has jacks up the lineman so quickly they can't really respond to it. And so, I mean, again, I don't normally get, oh my gosh, they got another defensive lineman. He's really good. Like now, I would say he's so beaten down. I don't think he's having like the greatest season ever. Scotty, I just sent you a graphic or a tweet that somebody put out, and in this via text, and this is Quinnen over the past 3 years. To me, this is a pretty good sampling. And what they've done via PFF, which Scotty and I both subscribe to, or what we at least look at, fairly often. This is kind of fascinating to watch his percentile in the run stop percentage and run defensive grade. 98 in run defensive grade, 97 percentile in run stop. All right. Everything else he's great at too. It's just the run, he's scary good. Maybe arguably the best in the game. All right. We used to think of the old Rams nose tackle, defensive lineman, as the greatest pass rushing defensive lineman. And was fine against the run. But his strength was against the pass rush. Quinnen it's not like he can't collapse the pocket, but what he does best is he just completely blows up the run. Because Micah Parsons, that was not his strength, Jerry and a lot of the staffers out there became enamored with, oh my gosh, what if we became these incredible run stoppers? Well, they have not done that to this point this season. I will say with linebacking help, Logan Wilson on the way, and that trade got made, 7th round pick, and Quinnen, they have the ability to really be pretty interesting against the run. Now, this one, Scotty, that you're putting up now, interesting, because what is the... That may be the one for this season. Yeah, that is. These are the 2025. I was giving you what he was over the past 3 seasons. And over the past 3 seasons, in these pass rush grades, he was much higher than this. Interestingly, this season, he continues to be beyond elite as a 27-year-old. And by the way, for just joining us, they gave up first-round pick in 2027. In the upcoming draft of 2026, they gave up a second-round pick. A second-round pick and a first-round pick for a big-time defensive lineman. But to Scotty's point here, pass rush grade this season, 47th percentile. Pass rush grade on true pass rushes, 56th percentile. Pass rush grade without play action, 50th. And so, interesting. In the pass rush win percentage, 44th percentile. So at least this one season, he's still beyond elite as a run defender, not quite as great as a pass rush against the pass. Now, that said, if you go back 2 seasons, the prior seasons, he's unbelievable at that stuff. Okay, so this could be a case of him getting a little bit beaten down and losing teammates, and that situation has just not been that great. Now, the thing is, Scotty, like they tried to paint Kenny Clark out as like, oh my gosh, he's going to be great. He's fine. He's fine. He's not bad at all. He's not Quinnen Williams. Like, this is like, I'm just thinking over the years of people like, well, for instance, now he's better than Walter Nolan, who we saw last night. But Nolan is the young, and Nolan's a little bit of a head case. He was at A&M. He was at Ole Miss, but Lord knows he can play. He was a 16th overall pick. He's a rookie. He's all these things. Quinnen's just got more experience and is way more consistent than Nolan. But when you saw Nolan get a sack last night, and you saw Nolan just jacking people up at the line of scrimmage, talking about the Cowboys' interior offensive line, let's just tell it like it is. They got their rear kicked. They got their butts handed to them on both interior lines. What the Cowboys are hoping with Quinnen Williams, it's going to be much harder to do that. Now, you still got the problem of people not being able to set the edge, people bouncing runs outside, but Quinnen Williams is such a great run defender that he will blow a lot of stuff up. And when you go watch film of him, everything is from a technique standpoint and a strength standpoint. He's got the quickness, he's got the initial punch, and when he punches you, you're in trouble. I keep going back to last night's game because I watched Tyler Guyton over there at left tackle he was like on skates. They were flying past him, and they were so bad in that game. I mean, Dak was not great. He had people fumbling. He had the tight end, Jake Ferguson. They were so bad in so many areas. And what they needed in that game, how do you win that game against the Cardinals last night? Score 30. Score 30. You win. I mean, again, if you were scoring like that, maybe the Cardinals would have approached the game differently. But the Cardinals end up beating you 27-17, and they manhandled you. And they were waiting for something bad to happen because they've lost so many close games, and they've lost on field goals, and they got a kicker who's not that reliable. They got a lot of reasons they lose close games, and it didn't matter. They came into and so years ago, a couple things happened at going into a bye. That one year they got Amari, and they did turn their season around. One year they fired the O-line coach, and that was part of the changes that they made. Will they find themselves making changes to the coaching staff this week? I don't think so. I mean, I do think Jerry was mad last night. As I said when I was on with Colin Cowherd earlier today, I felt like Jerry last night was looking for somebody to fire. And we all wish he'd just do it to himself, but he's never going to do that. But he kind of had that look in his eye, because there was almost nothing you could say to him that he wouldn't say, that's fair. That's fair. Jerry, you guys are horse ass. Jerry, you guys are awful on both sides of the ball. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, he would have said that. And when I asked him about being surprised by Jacoby Brissett, a backup quarterback being able to slice and dice them like he did, Jerry admitted to it. Yeah, he's like, I was wanting to face this guy and not have to go up against Kyler Murray. Why do they not want to go against Kyler Murray? Because he can run, he can extend plays. This defense doesn't do well against mobile quarterbacks. Didn't matter. Jacoby Brissett stayed right there in that pocket and just ripped the ball down the field over and over and over. They couldn't guard him, and they made everybody look foolish. All right. Tell you what we'll do, Scotty. I want to do, because I tell you, let's take care of our partners one last time here. We need to do that. Man, thank you, CNB. Thank you for your wonderful, thank you for everything you do. And then what we'll do in wrapping it up today, Scotty, I do want you to take us to the Foster, and I want to ask you about what the team looked like last night, what the crowd was like. I gotta have something to look forward to. The Bears football, not great, although they did get the big win. Mavs are horrible. Cowboys are horrible. I need hope in my sports life. We'll do that. And let me remind you guys of one thing. If you're listening today and you came in via Twitter, we had, we had 700,000 people. That sounded like 700,000. We had like 700 to 1,000 people, somewhere in that neighborhood, joining us, sampling us, and that was kind of exciting today via Twitter. If you're with us via Twitter, go over and subscribe to the YouTube page. Okay, that's the best way to get involved. You can then respond to us. You can be comments. We can get things to you. We can get news to you quickly that way. The YouTube page has a lot of cool things about it. So we love having you come in on Twitter, but we would really like you to sign up for the YouTube. And you can do that various ways. We'll be sending out things about it, but you could also just kind of Google Matt Mosley YouTube, and it's going to take you right to the YouTube page, and then subscribe. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could do this. All right, we're going to talk some Baylor hoops. We'll do it next.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform
at your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
Everybody at Equilife really has a passion and a real interest in helping people feel well. How much further can we go to get you feeling even better? It is a complete partnership between the two of us.
What if you could clean clean? With bio-based formulas and deep cleaning enzymes. No dyes, phthalates, or mystery ingredients. Just powerful pods for your dishes and laundry. Now you can, with drops made clean, made to clean.
It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
I am obsessed with helping business owners increase their traffic and turn it into profit through the power of Pinterest marketing. It's this amazing platform where people are looking for ideas, inspiration. They have a problem and they're actively looking for a solution.
It's hard to find supplements that work. No, thank you. Plant-based supplements made from the Earth's most powerful plants for your immune health, gut health, workouts, and more. Find out more at auraorganic.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NordVPN.com.
It is the Mosley Show, and great to have a lot of you with us today. And And Scotty, as you can tell, I get kind of fired up when there's some breaking news and things to react to. And I don't, I think sometimes people sense my excitement and perhaps think that maybe I'm suggesting that this one trade's going to change the whole season. That's not really it. It's just that, he is a great player. It's going to help him moving forward, and it's breaking. It's fun. It's different. They're trying to make something happen here. Now, could I turn right around tomorrow and Scotty, you hinted at this earlier today, and tell you they gave up way too much? I might do it. Right now I'm too intoxicated with watching his pass rush, watching how he comes screaming down the line to stop the run. Like, I'm really enjoying kind of watching what he does. So listen, you can like a player and think the Cowboys gave up way too much at the same time. Both of those things can be true. Now you got to give up something with a guy like this. But again, the Jets were going nowhere, and they've been going nowhere for a long time, right? They got no quarterback. They got an owner who, doesn't know what he's doing. I think they finally fired. Did they fire the GM? Maybe finally. They're just getting rid of folks, and or maybe Doug. Anyway, they got Aaron Glenn there. They won't fire him quite yet, but it's been a struggle for them. And a first and a second for a run stuffing, and he does more than that, but he's an elite run stuffing defensive lineman, which is what they were trying to tell us that they had for with Kenny Clark, who, again, good, but he's not this guy. And they just gave up a ton. To get a big old fire plug, hard A defensive tackle. Now, again, he can dominate. And Scotty, for 2 hours now, we've been flashing that on the screen. Just a reminder, the second-round pick is for 2026. So that's the upcoming draft. If you're like me and you're like, wait, 2026, when's that? Well, yeah, the calendar year will change, and then this next draft will be 2026. That's the second round. 2027, that's first round. And you go, well, which one? You got 2 first-round picks in 27. Which one is this going to be? They get the higher of the one. They get the higher of the picks. So Jets will be sitting there in 2027, and whoever finishes the most has the worst season between the Packers and the Cowboys. They'll step in there and they'll take that pick. And so the Cowboys kind of were sitting there with 4 first-rounders over the next 2 years, and it's kind of like, hey, we run this draft. We're the Cowboys, and then it's going to dwindle a little bit because now the Jets today got 3 to add to their other ones. Jets future draft picks after today's trades. Oh, good, Scotty. Wow. 2 first-rounders. They got those for Sauce Gardner, and then a second-rounder from the Jets. That they got that one from the Cowboys, and they got so 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, and then in 2027, right now, dang, man, they got so they're counting their own pick that they already have in the first round, so they'll have 3 first-rounders in 2027. The Cowboys have gone from oh my gosh, look, the Cowboys run the 2 next drafts to the Jets moving past them. Not as a team, not as an organization. I'm not trying to say the Jets are a better organization than the Cowboys, but Jets fans, now again, you're giving up on this year's team because you're 1-7 or 1-6 or whatever you are. You're horrible. So you have to give up on this year's team. The Jets do. But didn't they win a game? I think they did beat the Bengals. So you give up on this year's team, but you already had. Cowboys refusing to give up. 3-5-1. Give us the big monster defensive tackle. All right, Scotty, this is going to be brief. Tomorrow, though, we'll do more. But just do a little campus. And can you take me inside the place I really wanted to be last night. The Baylor men's basketball season opener. Looked like the students showed up and were kind of ready to go. Decent little crowd. What was the atmosphere like? And then how bad was your heart sinking? How bad were you sweating it when UTRG went on that long run there? I think they went on a 17-1 run against the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, I tweeted after the first 9 minutes, yikes, because Baylor came out and looked completely disorganized. Now, to your point, great crowd. I would say the Foster was, student section was packed. Students did a great job setting the tone. The rest of the pavilion, maybe 50 to 60% full. So not just the best crowd, but a decent crowd for a Monday night against a UT Rio Grande Valley opponent. I expect a packed house Sunday night, blackout environment against Washington coming to town. But yeah, it was bad, Mosley. It was really bad the first 9 to 12 minutes of that game. Baylor could not hit a shot outside of a couple of Obi Agbum threes. They were missing all kind of shots, looked disorganized, disheveled. Tunde Esufu opened the game 0 for 6 from the floor, and a couple of those were just forced. Looked like he thought to himself, I have to score. And so he took really kind of couple wild falling shots, and it just didn't look great. And really the red flags were on defense. Really, really struggled defensively. And then, as you'd kind of expect, 10 to 15 minutes into the game, boom, it was like a switch flipped, and at least offensively, Baylor came to life. Now, what I wanted to do with you, since you weren't at the game, is give you my report card, Mosley. The Bears used an 8-man rotation the other night. They started small, Mose. They only ran one true center all night, and it was Caden Powell off the bench. This team is really going to benefit if Joslin Bodo gets healthy, and really might struggle defensively if he doesn't. So they essentially started a guard and 4 wings last night. Obi Agbum running the point, and then you kind of had 4 players who can kind of flex 3 through 5 or 2 through 4, and then Michael Ratai kind of playing the 5, even though that is not his position. And here are my grades, Mosley. And if you watch the game with me, feel free to jump on YouTube and comment, and I'd love to see what you think of these grades. Here are my grades for Baylor's first outing this season. Obi Agbum gets an A. Looked very comfortable running the offense from the point. Hit some really clutch threes early when nobody else could score. Seemed really comfortable in a role, Matt. And actually, Pete Souza called for the Baylor Radio Network, the play-by-play, and interviewed Obi afterward and asked him, are you more of a point guard? Are you more of a scoring guard who's filling in at the point? And Obi says, listen, I'm going to play any role I need to win. And so some nights I'm going to score, and some nights I'm going to make plays. Already like Obi a lot more than the guy that filled that role last season, Matt. Cameron Carr, Mosley, we have heard it. We heard it after the trip to Europe. We heard it from Ashley Hodge on the show yesterday. Cam Carr is a legitimate NBA prospect at the wing, 6'5". And this kid, Matt, first time I've seen him play in person, I am not going to put him on the same level as VJ Edgecombe athletically, just because I think that kid is one of one. But Cameron Carr has shades of VJ in his ability to run the floor and get to the rim. It was really, really incredible to watch. The other thing I like about Carr, Matt, he is an alpha. When he had the ball in his hands, he looked like he was ready to go score at any moment. He led the Bears with 28 points. Really, really impressive performance. Caden Powell, B-. Looks serviceable, but nothing impressive. I would love to see him get more rebounds. He wasn't very effective on the glass. Michael Ratai, Matt, I really expected this kid to maybe be the second or third best player on this team, and he struggled last night. I think he's playing out of position when he has to play the 5. He really struggled defensively and could not find his rhythm from the floor, scoring the ball. that's the guy they're going to need to make plays. Dan Skillings fills a role, did a nice job. J.J. White and Isaac Williams are kind of rotating in as true guards to spell Obi. And you said it earlier, none of these guys off the bench are scoring a lot. And that really goes for these two guards. I think Williams had 2 points and White had none. And I think those guys are going to need to find a way to score. Williams had some points in that European trip, so we'll see if he can figure it out. And Tunde Yesufu opened the game 0 for 6. Looked like the moment might have been a little big for him. And then he finished the game 10 for 16 shooting. So obviously found his rhythm, took a lot of good shots inside, hit a big 3 at the buzzer at the end of the first half, Matt, and went over and stood in front of the student section for about 10 seconds, pounding his chest and getting the students excited and clearly kind of feeling it. I think what I texted Pete texted me and said, what do you think? And I texted Pete during halftime and said, when the light goes on for Tunde, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. He had 24 points, and I don't think he played his best basketball. I think it's really going to come on for Tunde at some point, and he's impressive.
All right. Yeah, I kind of wish you had been one of my professors. I like some of these grades. And plus, but that's interesting because, I've always kind of wondered to myself, and Ashley, helps me out on some of these backgrounds of players. But that was odd for Carr to be in a great program at Tennessee and then show up at the semester. It was just kind of like, what's going on? Like, what's the deal with this guy? But like you say, this may be a team where Carr and Tunde need to be great and score. Baylor usually functions best when they don't have somebody trying to score 20 to 25 a game. Now we'll see, because some of these teams that are better, and Washington comes in here Sunday, and Scotty, you'll laugh at this. I've got my daughter is on stage and is the A&M version of Sing or Pigskin is happening this weekend.
Oh, I'm not going to laugh about that.
So I got to be down there for that.
Cheering for her is very different than glazing over the football team on Colin Cowherd's show.
I don't know what that means, but I will. I'll be there, but I need to find. I'm thinking about trying to, on the way home, I have to talk my wife into this. Stopping by and being there for the big Washington game. Yeah,
come on.
That would be nice. I generally non-conference games. I like to wait to the conference games to get heavily involved in the basketball season. But I think that Washington game could be fun. What a day, Scotty. I mean, what a strong day. And thank you, by the way, Brazos Landing. There they are. They're just always out there. You see the waves, you see the bridge, you see the logo. And from right over there, Scotty, if you're sitting out on that beautiful deck, you can just kind of look right across at the Foster. And I just don't think, when you think about Foster Pavilion, hey, do we have any time to go get something to eat, whatever? People will say, well, they're going to build that downtown entertainment. Well, I don't see it yet, and I'm sure it'll happen, but I don't see anything over there yet. And the truth is, you can eat right there, leave your car at Brad now don't do this for a night game because they got to shut down the parking lot at some point. But you could just you could eat at Brazos parking and then just stroll over across the bridge. I've done it. The cars will buzz by you a little bit, but you're up off the highway. You've got a nice little walking path. But I love it. It's a great pregame place for those basketball games.
Let me respond to one thing you said about this team and these two players. I think you are right to point out that the best Scott Drew teams ever generally don't rely on one guy who's really got to carry the load scoring. If you think about that national championship team, you had 4 to 5 guys on that team that any given night could go get 20 just as a product of getting hot. What I like about this team already, though, is that I think you're coming off a 3-year streak where you only had one guy that could do it. It was VJ last year, it was Jacoby the year before, and it was Keontae George the year before that. All 3 of those teams, I think when you needed points, it was, give it to Keontae, give it to Jacoby, give it to VJ. With these 2 guys, I think that opens up some possibilities. And Obi can shoot now. Obi's a scorer as well. I think you've got potential to any given night, Matt. You're not going to crater if Cameron Carr has an off day, if Tunde struggles from the floor, if Obi doesn't hit some of his shots. You've got multiple guys that are capable of generating their own shot on this team, and I think that's where this team's ceiling is pretty high. I do think they need to figure out how to play defense on the interior, which is why, again, we don't know for sure if Joslin Bodo will be healthy or not to play this season, but if he was, it would make a difference.
Such bad luck, isn't it, to know that last year the depth and losing Ojanwina was such a huge part. Where did he go, by the way? He's somewhere. I need to look up.
Red School Midwest. Hold on.
Nebraska? No.
Ohio State, maybe?
Dale Bonner went there a couple of years ago, but I don't know where. Okay, interesting. I'll be anxious.
Yeah, he's with Ohio State.
Really?
Yep.
Really? Well, anyway, they had really tried to do some things to secure, that Caden Powell was supposed to be brought in to give you depth and be a guy that could really help you off the bench. I wish that guy from, there's a guy that played at Lake Highlands with Trey Johnson, who's now in the NBA for the Wizards, who played at University of Texas, that played with them overseas. And dang it, they need him this year. He's at Yale, and he could transfer to Baylor. He played with him on that trip, and he could transfer after this season. But he's what they need. He's 6'10", shot blocker, rebounder, decent, offensive game, not great. But it just stinks that they've ended up like what you're saying, that because you do not want Ratai is a shot maker. He can hit the three. He's supposed to be scoring. You need to settle him down. You don't need him to be down low like, hey, we need some presence in the paint. He needs to be finishing, slashing, hitting threes. But again, I had a buddy, it's going to be a long basketball season. Settle down just a little bit. Can we watch this? And as weird as this schedule is, the non-conference, it's not that great, right? But it's better than freaking going to play Gonzaga in Spokane or play Michigan State in Flint or Detroit, wherever they played them. That really cratered those teams. That the one team, and it was a good team with Flagler and them, they got crushed, and even Cryer might have still been on that team. They got crushed one night when they played Marquette early in the season. They just got run off the court. Like, let's ease into this thing with the RTG, whatever they are. You had a little slogan. You had a little picture of a man in a hat. I love these guys. They're the Rio Grande Valley people, and they're good. They're a nice bunch, but that's who you need to ease into the season with. Scotty, thank you for representing the Mosley show there. Sousa represented the Sousa show, but you were on hand, and I really liked that report card. In fact, I'm going to ask you to do that for every single game this year. the Scotty report card. I'll tell you who would steal this in a heartbeat. Cam Stewart only dreams of things that look like that on his little show, whatever that thing, Locked On something. He dreams of having a graphic like that, and he would kill for that. Okay, Scotty, good stuff. We just had 2 hours just fly by. Partially because you and I were trying to figure out something on Twitter for the first 15 minutes. But once we were live and locked on, thank you for everybody who joined us. And again, if you're new to the show, if you're from the Metroplex, you're like, oh, this is what Mosley does now. Okay, because I did have a 10-year run on radio at ESPN in Dallas. Subscribe to the YouTube. That, to me, that's home base, the YouTube channel. And in fact, we'll communicate with you. You can do. And then, Scotty, there's probably ways they can, on Twitter, reach out to us as well. All right. And I'll try to respond to that. But it's been a busy day. I had Colin Cowherd. I did a little syndicated thing earlier. But my main bread and butter, it's the Mosley Show with Scotty Swingler right here at Rogue Media Network. Get you some. All right? Get you some, as we say. or some people say. All right. Good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock straight up.